had a discussion a while back, and I realized that they had an investment club that have lasted for like 15 years. All women. I said, you guys come and teach us how you are doing it, oh. Because they say women supporting women. They say women don't do things together. When women come together, they will scatter. Only for me to come today and realize that my sister here is one of them. I'm like, these are, so you people are the powerful women. So they are going to share their story with us, how they started, what they have done. Because one thing I want us to take away is that if you cannot do it alone, you can do it together with others. We're talking palm tree now, we're talking a lot of stuff. A group of guys in Uganda, about 25, 26 years ago, while they were still in secondary school, they all decided to put money together and to go outside of town. They learned about land banking, to go outside of town, to go and buy large expanse of land. And they agreed that no matter what happened, they were not going to sell the land. No matter how poor they were, no matter what happened, they were not going to sell the land until after 20 years. 20 years later, they've gotten married, they've got children, some of them are struggling. But by the time they sold the land, all of them became millionaires. And that's because they came together. And if they were not together, if it was only one person, they would have sold. But because there was a contract that you can't sell, so nobody can. And so you see, there's something about collaboration. A lot of people, they've done this for years. So people come together, they build wealth together. And as I've traveled around the world, I've been talking to people about developing wealth creation networks so that we can come together. So you need to tell us, one, then I will go to other people. How did you start? What led to it? Number two, what were you people investing in? And then how long have you guys been doing this?
My name is Morenike Akirimisi, and I work in a bank. So we started this investment club in 2005.
Wow.
So we were 10, and one of us has gone to be with the Lord. And maybe we'll now tell you how we were able to even, when she passed on, what we did. So one of us, we're 4, the remaining 5 people are online. One of us, her name is Chichi, she just said, look, we are all, yes, we were young. Most of us are in our 50s now. So we were young, and she just felt that, look, let's just be setting aside a certain amount every month, and we put it together. And the amount, how much was the amount then? It was 10,000 naira. That was what we started with in 2005. So we started. Then we didn't register the company. So we just used to put the funds together. And then it was a case of, okay, what do we do with the money? So we started buying shares. That was what we knew then. So it was shares that we started with over the years. And there's one thing you keep saying, and that is wealth takes time. So for us, it wasn't even a case of, okay, what were we going to do to spend? We did not say that, we were going to spend whatever we were making out of the money. No. So we just kept investing over the years. And that's where we are. So the only first time, if I remember, that we took out of it was when we celebrated our 10 years anniversary in 2019. And it was a tough call. Because, so in 2019, before then, everybody had been saying that, no, let us even spend this money now, Because but for me, I just feel that let's just keep investing and investing. But like a club, you have to listen to everybody's opinion and come to a collective decision, because it's not just one person. And also, it is very important who you go into partnership with. Because what has made us stand the test of time is the values we share, what we agree on. Because if you had somebody that did not agree with the values or what we have, we will not be where we are today. So it's very important. And Dr. Olumide had said in one of the messages I had listened to was in terms of having contracts. What do you people believe in? To have it set out standard. We didn't start with that. But I think we have been lucky because we have built friendship, we have become sisters, and we have that. So I would think whoever is going into that today should be done differently. So I think that's how we started, 2005, and we are here. Most of us we were just newly married. Now we've had children. Our children are graduating to the glory of God. So that's who we are.
Wow. So before you go, so how much did you share in? What did you do with the money?
Okay, so in 2019, we looked at it and we said, okay, let us even enjoy some of the dividends. So what we decided was that we would only spend our dividend. We did not spend our principal. So as at that time, we looked at it at how much were we going to use. We just even went to Dubai, the 9 of us. We went, all expenses paid.
Wow.
So we paid for the ticket. It was like 3 days. So it was in Dubai. And our husbands even felt that we did not carry them along, but we said, hey.
You started before you met them now.
Most
Wow.
of us were married then.
That's
so
amazing.
that's the major spend we've done with our investment, because
So do you still do 10,000 till now? It has increased.
no, it has increased. So we increased to 15,000, and then before we stopped, when we were all working together, we all started working together in an organization, British Airways precisely. So after we now decided
So
that
you were all British Airways staff?
yes, we
Okay.
were. Yeah, that was how we met. We were all colleagues.
Okay.
And then we've been together for 21 years.
Wow.
We are all colleagues.
Then why did you join them? Why did you say, I beg, I don't have time for this? And then how has it been for you? Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Edo Oshoma. One of them reached out. I think it was Peju. She's flying today, so she can't be here. Anyway, and she said, "Oh, there's this opportunity. We're coming together to do an investment, and it's going to be a monthly thing." And I was like, "Oh, great." For me, at the time, I didn't know so much about investment, but I knew about savings. You know how you just say, "Oh, save," and so for me, it was like, "Oh, okay, this is savings." In my mind, to my mind at the time, this is savings, putting something together so that if something comes up. So that was how it started for me, and of course I was open to it. So we started the investment. Now, what it has done for me personally, it has even transcended, it has moved beyond me and moved to even my kids. Even my husband is so amazed that we have been together. Like, all I need to say is, oh, we have a Glenos. Once I say Glenos, the story is over. He knows, when we have our hangouts or when we're going to Dubai, it's just been such an experience that I've even shared with, people, like just small groups to say, oh, try this, this is what I am doing. And when they hear the amount and some of the things that we have done, it's kind of like mind-blowing for everyone. It's not like we're putting 500,000 together, we're putting 1 million together. Just little monies that you wouldn't even have known what you did with it, technically. Because like you can spend 50K and not really be able to account for that 50K, in a week, but exactly in a day, But so for me, it has been, number one, I have gained sisters that I otherwise would not have had, because like she said, it has transcended friendship. We are now sisters. We were literally doing life together. So it's not even just about investment. We share our wins, we share our sorrows, we share our everything. Children, like it's grown, it has become a community that is such a safe space for us.
What do you think has kept you for 21 years? Because what we hear about women is different from people who are sharing about. So you people, I know you fight, but nobody has said, well, forget it. You're Mimi Oshemo. I'm not doing it again. I don't care what anybody is saying. Forget it. And so I wanted to bring in that angle. How has it been? What are the challenges? And how have you guys been able to handle it? Yeah.
Let me start from the last thing you asked. So when we were setting up this thing at British Airways, my husband heard. He said, women, you people want to come together and do something. I'm going to sow a seed into that thing because I want to watch how it's going to grow. So our initial investment, actually, when we started, was 100,000. We had to do bulk. So at some point, we did bulk, and then we now had monthly contribution. So I think we do bulk once a year, and then you had monthly contributions. I think that's what our Madam Chair here forgot to say. She's our chairman of our investment club.
Wow.
So my first 100,000 contribution didn't come from my pocket, it came from my husband. So all of us were married at the time.
Okay, wow.
So he sowed that seed just to watch. And a lot of them, like, Edo also has said, watch us grow, our investments grow. We talk about the things we're doing, and our husbands are really perplexed. Even other, network of friends are saying, oh my God, so if you guys can do this, then it's possible.
Yeah.
And I think that the thing that has kept us, honestly, is understanding the reason why we're there. So we might not always agree, but our money is the reason why we're here. So, so we might not agree. And another thing Madam Chair also, didn't say is that we had a constitution. We had to set it up like a company. We registered this company. So it's an investment club corporation because we aim to be a big corporation in the future. When we retire, most of us are in our 50s, and we started when we were in our 30s. So the constitution was binding, right? This is who we are. These are the things that we would do. So we said we would invest in stocks, we would do this, we would do that. So we had to follow. And then part of the constitution is you must have a quorum. So like I said, we don't always have to agree. But as we were 10 at the time, once we can form that quorum, we will go ahead and invest.
So quorum is like 6 or 7?
Yes. So again, if you are not looking at the group chat when we had to make a decision, Madam Chair will send email, come and tell us, go and read your email. As long as we have that quorum, we move ahead. So we might be getting angry that, but I haven't voted. But again, your eye is on where our money is. So these are the things that we knew that even though we might not always agree, I go back to that, but we had something that was binding, and we kept our eyes on that. So I'm not sure we really ever had any situation where we fought. We can argue, and it's from no place of malice. It's our money. We're talking about our money here. So even when you argue, remember that it's because of this money we're arguing. It has nothing to do with my personality or your personality. So I think that clear understanding was what has kept us together.
Wow.
Praise the Lord.
So how big is the portfolio that you people have been able to build now with 10,000 naira, 15,000 naira? Because people are watching and they can start their own now. So over to you.
All right. Join the group, just like every other person. Like I said, we're colleagues. Investment and not being distracted from the goal. But outside of that, we've lost people. We've had people who have been out of jobs in the period and they had obligations, and we had to hold forth. We've had people pray for people. We've had trauma. One of us has lost her spouse. Of course, she's remarried today. We've gone through challenges together. We've had career growth. We've had leverage on people's strengths, individual strengths. So me, even though I'm a baby, there are things I bring to the picture, and I'm making a fuss about that. And they respect that because it's not about your age, it's about the value that you bring to the organization. So I'm super proud of this. Speaking about the men, when we started 20 years ago, I remember my husband spoke about us to another group, and these are men. I say this to break this bias about women being the issue. And my husband set up this group as well. And the thing that doesn't exist today anymore. They actually fought. So.
Oh, Kuri.
Exactly.
Guys, now don't fall my hand, though.
But I mean, I say that to just break that bias. That
Yeah.
really, at the end of the day, structure, vision. One thing I think Berenike also missed is when we started, I remember very well, we said we're going to get 200,000 shares of First Bank. That was the focus. It was very clear. So you're very clear. So for every money that was coming in, that was the mandate. And that was what we were going for. So even though we started with 10,000, it moved to 15,000, then to 20,000, and then the bulk money. That investment and in that focus just grew the money. And then we diversified. Went into real estate. And then at some point, our chairperson, she's a Harvard, I call her an avid investor, and she's very strict. So she doesn't like to spend money. So even when we want to jolly, she will not allow us jolly. But the reason why that was also very good that she was the one there, like I said, leverage on each person's strength. She spotted the opportunity of us using that money in terms of diversification. So at some point, we decided to take a dollar position. Not, we had real estate, we have shares, and then we changed money when it was at 400. And I'm not going to talk about the big amount, but I'm opening our minds to what our money has done but remember how much we're putting down. And I remember that at the time she changed the money, it was 400 naira, if I remember. Morenica, remind me. And we did a position, we did a deposit of that money, and it grew. And I think when I was looking at the report the other day, I think we had made $7,000 or so in addition to that bulk amount, which I'm not going to call. So if I say we've made 7,000, you can run the numbers yourself. And from that, we were able to also invest in a property. And the investment is from the returns on the investment that we did before. So what am I trying to say? We told ourselves there, why haven't we increased our minimum? Because all of us can actually increase that minimum. But the point is, with 20,000 naira, compounding 20 years, monthly, 10 people, a bulk sum of 100,000 every month, has expanded into real estate, shops, forex, shares, that could pay for landed property, that could pay for a holiday for 10 people in Dubai. Run the numbers. I don't need to call any numbers. I think I have said enough. So,
You wouldn't want to call numbers.
but I've called
Powerful.
numbers without calling numbers. But last thing for me was,
Wow.
I would say two things, lessons learned, and I keep harassing them. So, and this is for anyone who is trying to learn discipline. So when we started, it was 10,000 every month. And of course, I think I missed the date. And we had a rule that they were going to fine us. And they fined me. I was mad at that meeting. Why would you fine me? And then I said, okay, take the feedback. You missed a payment. And I set up a direct debit. And till today, obviously I haven't missed. One or two people missed too, you have not fined them. But that is offline gist. But the point is, set up a direct debit. I can afford 20,000 naira. Really. I'm sure you can afford 20,000 naira. I'm sure. 10,000 naira. Set up a direct debit. Even if you're not doing an investment club, set up an amount that you wouldn't even think about it and just compound and see what happens. Do the numbers. Imagine if you're doing 10,000 naira, in fact, 20,000 naira 20 years ago, that you would not have felt. At the time when I was doing 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira, I'm a CEO now. I was a sales agent. So it's not because I'm a CEO. I did it when I was an entry level. So who here is not, you must be on entry level, at least minimum is entry level.
Yeah.
So you can actually create that wealth.
You lost money before. How were you able to manage that? Then what's the sustainability plan? Your children, somebody passes on, how does that work?
Like the 2008, where shares went down dramatically, and then it was going to be a loss. But like what Bridget had said, what is the purpose that we want? We have a constitution, and the constitution is that we invest to make money. And because maybe we were all working and we're still working, so it's not that we needed the money at that point in time. So we said, you know what? We will wait it out. We will not sell. So we waited. And then years after, that same shares that was going to be a loss to us if we had sold became a profit. And that profit, we were able to take it out. We sold our shares and we plowed it into real estate. So I think one thing that has worked for us and I want to advocate is you wait. Be patient. Don't say that, you see the money, you know what? We've made so much money in just a few years. Let's bring it out. And no, let us plow it back. And had done in 2002, we said, you know what? We had these excess funds and we had not put it into any asset. Let us convert it to dollars. So we converted those monies. So that money is what is now building other children that we are using. So over the years, we have not had such a substantial loss because of our strategy of waiting in out. So even when we see the loss, we will not plunge into it and say, no, we'll be afraid. And that's what wealth is all about. We build it over the years, so we haven't. In terms of sustainability, what I've done is we have what everybody is entitled to. So yes, we have the shares, and we say that, okay, Morenike, you're entitled to X amount number of shares. Bridget, you have, and that's how we've been able to do it. And today, if anybody wants to exit, but so far we've not had, we can try to that this is the value of your shares, and then we'll look at it. But because of the investment we've done, it's going to be difficult for you to say, then you have to wait. And that's part of the constitution. So we don't have a constitution that would allow you to just break up and say you want to go. No. there is, if you want to, we already have it in real estate. We have about 2 real estate, not a problem. Then you have to wait for us to sell the property. And then, but even at that, why would you? And I think even for one of us, somebody had to buy out that person. I said, okay, no problem, I will buy you out. So the difference, but I think what is key is you must have a strong constitution that will be binding on everybody, and you can't break that constitution.
You didn't speak about the lady that passed on.
Okay, the lady that passed on. So the same thing happened. So when we had done the accountant had done our books, and he said this is the percentage that is allotted to everybody, totaling 100%. So that one we now sold. Then then the shares wasn't, if I can remember, it wasn't a bad sale. So we sold some shares, and then we had one of us who took part of what that person was entitled to, gave the money to the investment club, and that was how we were able to pay the person, and so we passed it on to the family. We gave those funds to the family of the deceased.
Wow.
My final word will be just start, because sometimes you think that you came to the party too late, or you think if I'd known this 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever, I would have done better, I could have, would have, should have, but when you hear the information, is the next best time to start. So we're here today. We started 20 years ago. I'm sure when we were starting, there were people who had already done it, because I'm sure we're not the first to have started this. Start. Find the people that you can trust. Find the people who have like minds with you. Find the people that you are also looking to do good things with their lives, and come together, decide what you want, and start. Because before you know it, another 20 years, literally, it would go by in a flash. And you'll be thinking, if I had done this 20 years ago, where would we be now? So just start, figure out what you want to do, and go ahead and do what you need to do. Thank you.
Thank you.